Alright then, folks, welcome back to Pushing the Potters, episode 15. We see on the screen there, Champions League quarterfinals. Can we put ourselves into that? I was going to say hat, but it's not really a hat anymore. Anyway, I wonder if they call it a hat. We'll call it a bowl. A bowler hat. Let's go with that. Right, Champions League then. So you can see there's a few teams that have already qualified, including Shakhtar Donetsk, who have famously put out Real Madrid. Other qualifier, I mean, you see that Barcelona, they ran it close. The 3-0 home defeat to Napoli did not cost them their place in the quarterfinals. They go through, as do Kiev, as do Manchester United, who completely outclassed Copenhagen, unfortunately for them. But Kiev did qualify over Leverkusen. That's a bit of a surprise. So there's Kiev and Shakhtar into the next round. Hopefully we can join them. Since you were last with us, though, let's catch up. We obviously lost the League Cup final. Tears all round, but never mind. We've then played Crystal Palace at home, and that looks far closer than it actually was. If we just take a look at the match information there, we let them have a little bit too much, probably a bit of tiredness, a bit of a hangover, I suppose, from the League Cup final. But we did dominate the game, and we should definitely have scored more. We hit the woodwork 3 times. We had a penalty saved, but never mind. 3-2 is the win, still worthy of 3 points. Then a 2-0 win away at Newcastle. That was efficient performance, you'd say. And Newcastle are doing pretty well in the league. I think they're around 5th, 6th, so that was a good win. I was a bit concerned that we might lose that one and lose a bit of momentum, but that was not the case. Then a 5-0 home win over Burnley. Fairly routine. We put them away in the first 20 minutes, really. Thomas Lemar, Trippier against his former club, of course. Berardi got 2, including a penalty, and Arnautovic came off the bench and scored. Sigurdsson is back in the team. As I mentioned last time, really, he's sort of worked his way back in, but he did pull his hamstring against Burnley, so he has been out. Then we relied on a penalty shootout to beat Watford. We are into now the FA Cup semi-finals, you'll see, against Aston Villa in the Championship, and quite honestly, I fancy our chances at winning this. We've not been very fluent. You'll notice that we had to beat Huddersfield on penalties. We've had to beat Watford on penalties. We've basically fluked our way in. We've not actually beat anyone of any real quality. We beat Birmingham. We've beaten Huddersfield. We've beaten Coventry. We've beaten Watford. And we will face Aston Villa. If somehow, that's the wrong screen, if we can somehow sneak Fulham in the final, then I don't think we'll have done too bad. And I think we should win. I think even against Tottenham, I fancy our chances at Wembley against any of those sides. So we'll look forward to that. But today's about the Champions League, and we take that 4-2 lead. This is the team we're going to go with today. It is Butland, it's Trippier, Shawcross, Brooks, Tellers. Ayer will deputise for Joe Allen, who's suspended. Imbula, Berardi on the right side, Lamar in the middle, Vlasic on the left, and Dembele will not play up front. Milik will. You notice the bench is a little bit tired, a little bit injured, a little bit suspended, a little bit knackered. So Verlinden's the best of a bad bunch in that regard. He certainly won't come on, but he's just there to fill up the seat on the bench. So let's get going today then. We really just want to be efficient and not really take too many risks. As I said before, Celtic did score twice past us, and they're obviously into this stage, so they must have won a few games on their travels in the Champions League group stage. We don't want to give them a chance. So let's do what we need to. If we can get a goal in the first 10-15 minutes, I think that should make the game safe. That'll mean they have to score 4 times. In fact, a goal in the first minute would be fantastic. Berardi knocks it back to Trippier, who's lobbed it straight into the keeper's hands. Would be, former striker Minier, of course. I really have to look up who that actually is. Apologies, Minier fans. There's probably more than one of you. Miniers, that is. Vlasic. Ayer now. Former Celtic man, of course. Milik. Berardi to Tellez. We're working the ball nicely. Here's Imbula. Vlasic is in. It's a great save by Minir, down to his left. And I thought that was going to go in from Imbula, but it's flicked over the bar. What a good start to the game. 2 minutes in. We've had a few chances there. Really should have probably taken one, but it was a good save for Minir. You've got to say, that was an excellent reaction. Stop down at his right. That looked past him as far as I could tell. Tellez throws it in there to Vlasic. Worked in field to Trippier. He can strike them, can he? Chooses not to until he gets to an angle, and Minir really didn't need to make any kind of real quality save there. A little bit disappointing, but never mind. So the game seems to have settled down to a bit of a rhythm. I don't have the match stats on screen. If you would like me to have the match stats on screen, I know a lot of people do, but then I also know a lot of people play on the old 2D. I'm more used to the 3D since it came in, but I'm always open to change. I'm a veteran, I'd like to think. So if you like the 2D instead, to have a bit more of a tactical overview, let me know as Milik goes through, and another good save down to his right. I think I said down to his left last time, and that clearly wasn't. It's our left as we're looking at him, but he would say that's his right, and I'd have to agree with him. That's most definitely his right side. They've come to try and frustrate us, but I wouldn't say they're going to score playing this kind of style unless they get a counter attack or a corner or a free kick. I'm talking them into the game here because they could easily get all of those things and more. That said, at the moment, even as it stands, they need to score 3 times without reply, and I just don't see it happening. I'm sitting here. You'd think I'd be nervous, but I'm quite comfortable with it. As Brooks knocks it down, is Berardi now back to Ayer, to Trippier, to Berardi, infield to Mbula. Works a bit of space and flashes one past the left-hand post. See, I've got it this time. Or the keeper's right-hand post. I suppose it depends where you're sat. Interestingly, if we look where we are, my seat. Well, bear with me while I just talk to the players. I've told them I'm very pleased. To be honest, I'm not, because we should be ahead. I mean, the tunnel there isn't there in the Stoke ground. We have had a bit of remodelling done. You notice the attendance is 35,000. Something I neglected to mention to you because it didn't seem that huge. We did have a stadium expansion completed at the board's request over the summer, and took us up to 35,000 seats, which we're getting every game. So I'm hopeful that we'll get even more. Unless they've moved the tunnel as part of that redesign. The tunnel is obviously top left as we look at the pitch as we are on the screen now. Would be in that corner. Or would it actually? It'd be in the bottom right corner as we look at it, because that's the old scoreboard. Who knows? I've been there many times, and I'm obviously forgetting where I am. But anyway, my seat would be to the left. That would be the Stoke Boothen end. If you have ever been to the Stoke ground, you probably won't even know what I'm talking about. But if you have been to the Stoke ground, you might have heard of the Boothen Ender. The Boothen Enders. That's where I normally go. Is Tellez. Again, the keeper's been good. And we said that last time, in fairness. I mean, he's not got a great rating, but in fact, my keeper's got a better rating. So my keeper's keeping us in the game, even though we've not seen anything. Lamar drifted in, Milik heads down, Vlasic. It's crept into the far corner. Not much the keeper could do with that one. It's gone through a crowd of players, you'd have to say. We'll see it on this replay. Close cam. We're behind the goal. We're in the south stand, I think. Sort of side foots it. Keeper gets a hand to it. Can't stop it going in. God, this guy on the line here, he's loving it. Not sure what he's doing. Anyway, a bit tired, so we're going to get Sasibar on. But we're going to play him further forward. We're going to drop Mbula into the deep lying area and ask Sasibar to be our box-to-box. Is Joe Gomez to Rogic. Is it Rujic? I'm going to go Rogic. Lee Griffiths. He scored against us, of course, at Celtic Park. He's been kept out there by Jackie Butland. You'd have to say quite a decent stop, or all things told. It will be a corner, though. I'm not expecting it. If that's Alan McGregor or Callum McGregor, I'm not keen on. Well, I say I'm not keen. I'm not up to on Scottish. I know that's Simon Gustafson because I've signed him several times in this year's FM, so I do know he's quite talented. All right, I haven't really got a left back on the bench, but that's no problem. So we won't make that change. I'm going to bring Arnautovic on for Berardi, just for some fresh legs on the right. It's interesting, all these years at Stoke, Arnautovic always played left side, but in this game, he much prefers the right side. Now, I don't know if maybe that's why he wanted the move. Maybe he was desperate to play on the right side, and Mr. Mark Hughes wouldn't allow it. We put Kyle Walker-Peters on, just to see out the game. We're going to win it. It's a non-event, really, this game. It was a 1-0 win. It takes us to a 5-2. Aggregate win. It does put us into the knockout. We're already in the knockout stage. Excuse me. The quarterfinals. So that's that. As I said last time, that's great for us. Second season in the Champions League. We get some great money for it. I don't know when the draw is. In fact, it's coming up. Shall we stay with it? We're at 9.5. I think we shall. Please bear with me. That was a special goal, indeed. Nicola had a good game. Excellent. I'm just going to rest these players, and we'll get to that draw in just a tick. And we can see who we're going to get. I'm a little concerned we're going to get one of the big boys because, well, that's just what we do at Stoke. Just seems to be the way. So, well, hopefully we won't see waiting too long. If it is, I'll cut it out. There you go. Vlasic has been given a new deal. So you see, behind the curtain now, Vlasic has got a new deal. Unlike my negotiations with Dembele, no release clauses in this one. So I found it quite simple. Bruges are out, so that's one we're definitely not going to get. There's a 5-star potential. It doesn't look bad, does he, actually? We'll keep an eye on him. Still waiting for Brexit, of course. Maybe I missed it. There's another one, Harold Wiebers. Now, he does look pretty good, and he's 2-footed at 18. I was going to say 16. Needs to have a bit more work rate. But we'll certainly keep an eye out. And Milunovic. He looks good as well. Oh, prospects, people. Prospects. Oh, it's tomorrow, the Champions League, before an away trip to West Ham. That's bad, isn't it? A facial injury in an accident. I should hope it was accidental. If it was intentional, I'm pointing the finger at Lee Grant. Oh, just as he gets that, he's on the verge of a Premier League clean sheets milestone. Right, we're asking about Salomon Rondon, plays for West Ham lately. We're going to ignore that. Harder to beat in Nicolas. I don't think we can. Yeah. I feel suitably prepared. Interesting about West Ham. He's not even a key player on there, but they signed a player in the summer. Romelu Lukaku joined from Everton for just £15 million. Did United get conned? FM suggests they maybe did. Right, so there's no seedings at this stage. We do have the prospect of facing Arsenal, Atletico, Dinamo Kiev, Barcelona, Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, and Shakhtar Donetsk. So let's see who we get. We're first out. First out of the bowler hat. Okay, trip to Paris on the cards. We don't even get the second leg at home. Well, the quarter-final knockout isn't bad for our second campaign, I suppose. Arsenal got a draw we wanted, and Barcelona got a draw we wanted. So, yeah, I was a bit worried we were going to get one of the big boys. We probably got one of the big boys. Let's see who they've brought in since we kicked off this save. Let's go back to Season 1. So, a couple of signings, Lucas Prato and Sven van Beek. You just notice the casual 78 million now on Mauro Icardi, Frank Kessie, Boy Lozano, Georges Mere, Trincao, I don't know, Bianchi, Jorrit Hendricks, Nacho, Costas Manolas. And this year, as if that wasn't enough, Rafael Varane for 56 million. Diego Guzman, Alex Grimaldo, Ederson, keeper in the Premier League now, of course, Aaron Martin and Matthias Sarru. So, yeah, doomed is, I think, the term you'd use. Oh, it's Sol Kazawa. I'd have paid that. Annoying. Right. Yeah, annoying, really. But we'll make the best of a bad job. At least we'll sell a few tickets. So where shall we return? I think we shall return for the Paris Saint-Germain game in just a couple of weeks' time. You can be with me as we suffer the torture. In fact, so we got then Man City and then Paris. If there's not too many highlights, we might be able to squeeze all three into one episode. I've never tried a triple before. But life is about trying new things. Okay, we'll try that then. So we'll look at the Paris game. It may just be a single, it may be a double, it may be a triple. Who knows? You'll have to join in to find out. And yeah, I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, it's been an absolute pleasure. Please do follow me at Knock It Wide on the Twitters. And please do like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.